What's up, my dudes? It's a vigorous Q&A because it's Saturday, and that's when we're going to answer all of your bodybuilding and performance-enhancing drug questions. But first things first, it's Black Friday sales weekend, including Cyber Monday. So for all the guys who are not aware, I'm having a 50% discount on consultations and personalized advice by email. I had no idea what to expect because I've never really done a discount like this before. So the first couple of days, like I launched it Thursday just to get a little bit ahead of the curve because a lot of people were asking about it. So I launched it on Thursday, and then Friday I only did cryptocurrency only. But apparently nobody wants to use cryptocurrency, even though we're in a space where cryptocurrency for the purchase of performance-enhancing drugs online is king, right? You're better off using Zcash or BTC or Ethereum or stable coins to hide, what you're doing illicitly. So for you guys that don't know how cryptocurrency works, I already accept Apple Pay, Google Pay, and credit card. So the links are down below. This is going to last until December the 1st at Cyber Monday. And basically, it's first come, first served, even though I don't think that I'll reach 220 hours worth of consultations and personalized advice by email. But that's how much time I have. Basically, I can set 20 hours aside per week from December onwards to the end of February. So you have a 3-month redemption or redeemable period. You don't have to use it right now. So that's about 20 hours that I can set aside for consultations and personalized advice by email, or maybe some top-ups of the VIP package that some people have, right? I don't mind if you add another hour to your VIP package for $1,200. That's all good with me. So that's all linked down below. If you want to buy it on Thursday or Tuesday, then you're too late. It's that simple. All right, what else do we have? Gorilla Mind Black Friday sale is still live. That will last until Cyber Monday, right, December the 1st. 20 to 40% discount on various products, whether those are pre-workouts, energy drinks, or some of the recovery aids like protein powder and that kind of stuff. Code VIGOROUS will give you another 10% off. So it's 20 to 40% discount on the website, and that will stack with another 10% with code VIGOROUS. And it's the same for Intelligent Shop. That's also until Cyber Monday, December 1st. 20 to 50% will stack with code VIGOROUS for 10% off on top of that. Merrick Health has also Black Friday sale until December 1st. Cyber Monday, 25% discount on all diagnostic testing. Use code VIGOROUS for that. So if you haven't done your blood work yet, now's a good time to do so. Assuming you live in the United States, you can do it over at Merrick Health. 25% off, which is quite a lot. The Black Friday sales for Bathmate have already started, so you can use the link down below and then get 10 to 30% discount depending on the model that you're interested in. Modern Aminos is a Black Friday sale that's ongoing right now until December 1st. A 20% discount with code VIGOROUS. And unfortunately, it doesn't stack with the 10% that we usually have. So it's from 10% to 20%. And then Omega Aminos, Chase Iron's company, will have a Cyber Monday sale. So that's only December 1st. So bookmark that in your calendar. Basically, 2 days from now, you can buy everything over at Omega Aminos for 30% discount. That's basically 20% off the website plus 10% using my code. So make sure you use my codes everywhere you do shopping online. I bought a boatload of things. So I got these from JBL. It's apparently pretty good audio. And I got this behemoth, which is going to be installed on one of my motorcycles. This thing makes so much noise. It's basically a speaker set, so I'll install that, and then it can blast bass into my hairs, all 20 of them that I have here. And, well, the Enterprise D is already locked up with other Lego sets, so I got the Enterprise D Lego set for, what was it, 15% off at the Lego store? So that's pretty cool, and I'll get the little shuttle shipped to me very, very soon. And I bought some underglow kits. I bought some motorcycle parts. I spent way too much money the last couple of days. So help me get some money back by super chatting and that kind of stuff. All right, let's get started right after the disclaimer. All right, so lots of questions in here already. John Wilson, hey Steve, I'm on 500 test with Primo Mastron for maximum dryness before my holiday. Should I lower test and when? Also, would low-dose Winstrol suspension in the last week help or be unnecessary? Well, it kind of depends on how lean you are. So if you're 6% body fat, then dropping the testosterone from 500 to 250, for example, will make you a little bit more dry. And then adding in maybe 50 milligrams Winstrol suspension sub-Q daily. Don't do intramuscularly. The post-injection pain will make you cripple, and then you can't even walk on holiday unless you're just going to the beach and going to chill the fuck out, not doing anything. 50 milligrams Winstrol suspension sub-Q per day, so that's 350 milligrams. So you stay about 100 milligrams more, basically, from 500 tests to 250, adding in 350, 100 milligrams more on top of your stack. And then I would do that at least 2 to 3 weeks, though. Like 1 week, unless you bring it with you. And then it's also assuming that you don't eat like an asshole on holiday. So you could, drop the test by half and load up on the Winstrol for 2 weeks. But when you fly, you start to retain water, even if you're on Winstrol. And then you start to eat like an asshole, and then you certainly retain water, and then you look worse than when you were on 500 tests, Primo, Masteron without the Winstrol. So you're going to, unless you start drinking heavily, and there's a diuretic effect, right? But then... yeah, you're kind of destroying your body from both ends, right? From the steroid receptor side and alcohol dissolving you from the inside. So they're going to have to figure it out, but I'm not against it. Yeah, but doing a protocol for holiday, you'll look the best out of anybody on the cruise or on the beach. I'm 100% sure of it. Let's be honest, most people are ugly. They're not in shape. They don't go to the gym. And if they do, they take a little bit of TRT and don't look good. So I think if you stay in the same cycle and don't forget about it, you'll probably still the best looking jacked daddy wherever you go. And everybody else is not going to notice the difference between this cycle and then dropping the test by half and adding in the Winstrol. Nobody's going to tell. Nobody will know. Adrian, what's up? Good daddy Steve. Does Januvia prolong the half-life of growth hormone? Here's to the Cheesecake Fund for you and Nan. Yeah, I had cheesecake today. And man, I'm not going to lie, dude. I was fucking nauseous. I had Cheesecake Factory this afternoon, 3 dishes. I was obesely full, like morbidly obesely full afterwards. And it didn't digest. I still feel full, dude. So I had 1 meal and 1 cheesecake. That's it. That's all I had, and water today. I'm probably like 500 calories behind. Might have to slam some eggs later on. So thanks for the cheesecake. That's a lot of Singaporean dollars for cheesecake. That probably covered my whole meal today. Nice work, Adrian. Thanks. So Januvia, a dipeptidyl peptidase 4 inhibitor, will only prevent the breakdown of growth hormone releasing hormone, but not actual growth hormone. So you have Januvia and other DPPIs, right? The sitagliptins, etc. They will prevent the breakdown of growth factors. So that's growth hormone secreting hormone, or growth hormone releasing hormone, insulin, IGF-1, IGF-2, if that counts, erythropoietin, TB500, BPC157, brain-derived neurotropic factor, glial-line-derived neurotropic factor. Right? So if you take cerebrolysine, Januvia, sure. Right? If you take a growth hormone secretagogue, sure. If you take, a peptide protocol to recover injuries, Januvia makes sense. But with actual growth hormone, unfortunately, it's not going to make a difference. So in this case, I would say no. But if you want to get some sort of synergistic effect by preventing the breakdown of IGF-1 and insulin while taking growth hormone, and yeah, it does make sense, man. When is Vigor Steve assembling the Interpress D while Hammer Drunk live stream? Well, it will be assembled before New Year's, but we could do a Hammer Drunk live stream on New Year's. It's been 2 years. The problem is last time I was Hammer Drunk alone. And I almost cleared a whole bottle of whiskey by myself. And then asked people to call in, but I didn't realize that it was early morning in the US. So nobody was joining me for booze. Yeah. I know, let's see. The Enterprise D will be built before that time. I got it laying around here. Yeah, it's already covered with the other Lego boxes of all the little free gifts and stuff that we got. So I stashed it to the side, but I'm going to build it very, very soon. I just don't know where to put it because my whole Lego cabinet is full. All of them, even the one that's up here. I'm not going to mess with this camera because, technical difficulties, bro. I've used enough Tren to see the future. It says buy Bitcoin now or sooner than now for future use. Yeah, but it could get stopped out at the downward trending resistance line that's been coming down since the 5th of October, which was the calculated peak of the bull cycle, and so that could be anywhere between 99,500 and, well, if it goes up now, it will be 102,000. Then the 50-week moving average is going to be major resistance. I got my sell order set there, and then I'll look for another trade. So that will be what? 102? Yeah, so it's a little bit above downward resistance. And if it breaks through that and one of the fib levels, then yeah, it can go sky high. But I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. Also, up the trend, it's cheaper than heating bills in America. Yeah, it is kind of cold over here. Man, I had to... wrap up in like double layered suits when I was driving my motorcycles at night because it's kind of windy and chilly. Quick tip: 300 to 600 milligrams aspirin before bed cuts down a cortisol awakening response. If the vigorous sleep stack isn't smacking, maybe aspirin is what you're lacking. It sounds like a lot of aspirin, though. I mean, I'm aware of the cortisol blunting effect of aspirin, but I would rather take a bolus dose of growth hormone, which also blunts cortisol, and exogenous testosterone does that also, right? Or you take Emodin, like 600 milligrams aspirin. That's a lot of potential for the weakening of your stomach lining and getting acid reflux and burning a hole in your stomach. Even at 81 milligram baby aspirin, that can happen. So I'm not a fan of aspirin for cortisol lowering effect or blood thinning effects. Right? For blood thinning, you can use fish oil, proper vitamin K intake, vitamin E intake. That keeps the blood nice and viscous, or is that the right one? Anyway, that it doesn't coagulate spontaneously, and then you get a blood clot that travels to your brain and then it pops. Right, that's the last thing you want. So I don't think aspirin is required. So there's plenty of alternatives to lower your cortisol or to keep your blood nice and lubricated. Throttle Daddy Steve. TSH, so that's on the low sides. Free T4 on the low side. Free T3 on the normal sides. Reverse T3, can't remember off the top of my head, but he says it's low. Came off T4, T3, now 25 micrograms on T3. Started push up phase right now. Added T4 back, or add the T4 back and let recovery run. Trying to remove the T3. So in this case, I would just go to 12.5 micrograms T3 upon waking with 100 micrograms T4 before bed for about a week, and then you take the T3 out. So that gives you enough time for the T3 to kind of saturate your total and free T3 levels and have enough storage, or how do you say this? Reserves, enough T4 reserves for normal conversion into T3, perhaps being stimulated by growth hormone, which promotes deiodinase enzyme activity and promotes conversion of T4 into T3, which is metabolically active. You take the T3 down by half to 12.5 micrograms so you don't crash, but it should be low enough for your thyroid stimulating hormone to pick back up. And then I think on 12.5 micrograms T3 in the morning, 100 micrograms T4 in the evening, and perhaps 2 IUs of growth hormone at any point during the day, but it's probably best to take that before bed, alongside the T4. Then within 1 week, you can remove the T3 and then cruise on the T4 and growth hormone. And again, I have a whole 30-minute video explaining how to come off thyroid meds. Thoughts on hyaluronic acid could be helpful to bring up lacking body parts. So I've never used site enhancement. If you want to use hyaluronic acids orally or injectably, I think it's great for connective tissue and joint lubrication. But hitting all these lagging body parts with something I think it sticks around, right? It takes a while to break down. Yeah, I'm not really for it. And I love to bodybuild, but if a body part doesn't, get brought up with the use of growth hormone, insulin, Increlex, and hard training and a fuckload of food, then all right, then I'll just settle for less. But if you compete, then yeah, it might be required, but I have no experience with that. Never recommended it, never used it myself. I know Paul Barnett and Chase Irons have plenty of experience with site enhancement, but I'm not your guy. I'm sorry. Hey, Big Steve, can you give the exact dosage of the dry shredded HCG and Primo stack? I know you mentioned it before, just don't recall the exact weekly dosages and length. Persons under 200 pounds. Okay, so you want to be lean and use HCG monotherapy along with Primo, right? I think it's 500 IOs HGH to 1,000 IOs HGH sub-Q 3 times per week, depending on how much estradiol production you get. Obviously, in the testicles, you can't prevent that by taking Primo because the testosterone converts into estradiol in the testicles, and aromatase enzyme inhibitors like Primo or some of its metabolites apparently cannot enter the testicles. So 500 to 1,000 IOs HGH, depending on your blood work parameters, and then Primo maybe 200 milligrams on top, and I think that's more than enough. Right, dry and shred it. Of course, you can escalate the Primo up to a gram, but then you're, dry shredded and full as a house. Maybe that's not the look that you're after. BMX Sharks, 3-week post-cycle therapy. LH is about 5, FSH is about 6, test 555 nanograms per deciliter. In Thailand, if you see 3 times 5, they say ha ha ha. That's slang for ha ha ha, because 5 you pronounce as ha. Nung song sam si ha, 5. Ha ha ha, nanograms per deciliter. Right? All the Thai guys, people in Thailand understand this joke. Free T, well, that's interesting. The estradiol in the middle of the range. HGH a little bit on the high side. DHEA, it's all normal. Progesterone not detectable. Okay, so progesterone could see a little bit of an improvement, but that's mostly has to do with mitochondrial function, where pregnenolone is being produced in the mitochondria and then converts into progesterone. No libido, but feel good otherwise. Should I add in DHEA and pregnenolone provider? No, you're going to have to wait. You're going to have to wait because your LH and FSH is fine. Your testosterone might come up to 700, but it could be a dopamine signal problem and not a testosterone problem because you were on cycle. And if you're on a cycle with high test or high tren or a combination of all kinds of compounds, then the dopaminergic signaling is what was enhancing your libido. And then when you come off cycle, that dopaminergic signaling is gone. And it doesn't matter how high your testosterone or LH or FSH is going to be, how free your testosterone is, how low or high your estrogen, how favorable your hormone balance is. If you like the dopaminergic signaling, your libido is going to be low. So maybe look into L-tyrosine, maybe look into Semax, maybe look into oxytocin, right? I discuss all of this in the libido-enhancing videos. And but yeah, your hormone balance looks fine to me, man. Your test is middle of the range, estrogen is middle of the range, your SHBG is not too high. DHA is a little bit on the low side, but it's only been 3 weeks since post-cycle therapy. Maybe you need another 2 months. Post-cycle therapy sucks. Get used to it. How do I stay in cycle? My libido was also 0. It took a whole year. My testosterone was 900 nanograms per deciliter. I had 0 libido. It still got the job done. Fuck, man. Wife is like, I'm ovulating in 2 days. Well, take your panties off. I'm going in dry. Even though I had no libido. I'm a man. I can give my dick hard on demand. Anabolic Oracle Steve, 500 milligrams test, 200 milligrams dick in a push-up phase. When should injectable L-carnitine be taken for the best pumps and nutrient partitioning? Well, nutrient partitioning is a big word for L-carnitine, man. It helps with triglyceride absorption into the mitochondria, so it's not insulin, it's not thyroid medication. 500 micrograms before activity. I think that's the best way. So fasted cardio, you should be doing that for insulin sensitivity. 500 milligrams injectable L-carnitine before fasted cardio, and then later in the day when you work out again. Hey Steve, could you combine Mirabegron 50 milligrams with Albuterol and Nebivolol together? Yes. You want an explanation? Mirabegron works on a beta-3 adrenergic receptors. It's probably better if you raise the dose to 150 milligrams per week. Albuterol seems to be effective between 2 to 4, maybe 8 milligrams if you take it orally, but 2 milligrams if you inject it from Somachem's injectable pre-workout. And then Nebivolol blocks the beta-2 adrenergic or the beta-1 receptors on the heart. Albuterol works in the beta-2, so you get fat loss from Mirabegron through the beta-3, fat loss from the Albuterol through the beta-2, and then not an elevated heart rate by blocking the beta-1 receptor. So 150 milligrams Mirabegron, 2 to 4 milligrams Albuterol, unless it's injectable, then it's 1 to 2 milligrams. And then the 2.5 to 5 milligrams Nebivolol. You're welcome. Which Bathmate model do you recommend? I think they sent me the biggest one, but it highly depends on what you're starting with. Right, so if you're starting with 4 and you want to get to 6, then I think some of the entry models are better than starting with 6 and trying to get to 7 or 8. Yeah, I don't know. 7 was already not cumbersome. I just remember this period, how fucking stupid this was. Like this. That's how silly it was. Yeah, I'm glad I stopped it. Everybody in the household was happy when I stopped it. I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head. So you'll have to go to the website and see what suits your size the best. And I think they explain everything there. How would you control appetite if you need to come off GLP-1 for 6 weeks to to resensitize to receptors and cannot gain weight back because of sport? Ketogenic diet. Yeah, and then maybe like we discussed last week, tesofensine. That works through a completely different pathway, right? Through the serotonin, norepinephrine, dopamine receptor reuptake inhibition pathway, SNDRI. Yeah, I think that's the best way. And then you do 250 micrograms Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 3 times a week. Now, if you come off of that after 6 weeks, you might get some withdrawal, you know? Yeah, and 6 weeks might not be enough to resensitize the receptors, man. Maybe you need a little bit longer. I'm just running 1 milligram retatrutide for life, dude. I'm sick of this shit. It's the only thing that really controls my appetite. Like, man, I went to Cheesecake Factory, had 3 dishes split with my wife. Left all the carbs, had the rice. We had the orange chicken with rice and hamburger with fries, left the fries. And then Cuban sandwich, left the salad. Should have eaten the salad, but fuck, man, I eat vegetables every fucking day. So I left all that shit, and then I brought the cheesecake home because I really wanted cheesecake, but I was so fucking stuffed after Cheesecake Factory regular dishes that I had to bring it home. And then 6 hours later, I had lunch at 2, and then I ate the cheesecake at 8. And now it's 12, so I haven't eaten in 4 hours. I'm still full, man. Goddamn Reta. I'm only thirsty. I have a dry mouth. It's the air conditioning blowing in my mouth, too. You know? Try to keep me cool. I'm so excited. Is there any use of supplementing with NAC if you're already using 1400 to 1800 milligrams injectable glutathione intramuscular intravenous weekly? Technically, no, but I still use it. Yeah. And I basically use glycine also, right, from all the collagen supplements. So I basically get like separated Glynac, glycine, and N-acetylcysteine together for enhanced glutathione production. But yeah, I still take about 1,200 milligrams injectable glutathione per week, 600 milligrams twice a week after leg days. And yeah, I still take NAC. I never looked at a study seeing if glutathione stores get more saturated combining it or that NAC is enough. But I do notice that adding in the injectable glutathione gives me better skin texture compared to running 2,000 milligrams NAC alone. And of course, your body can only produce that much glutathione. That's why you supplement it, you know. That's why you supplement with growth hormone, maybe a couple times per week, and then your body kind of trickles in a little bit, you know. When you're old, you're like, it's like dust. It's like, poof, like when you're coming on Tren, it's like you have a massive ejaculation, but then you look down, there's 2 drops. That's my story of my life right now. Like, oh, it's so intense. You look down, don't even have to clean up. That was it. Same with growth hormone. When you're over 40, your pituitary is like, poof. You get the sensation, right? I did it. Bro, I released that fucking growth hormone. I responded to the ghrelin and the growth hormone releasing hormone. And then you look at your serum levels, you're like, motherfucker, that's it. And it could be the same for NAC. You know, that's why we inject a little bit on top. Steve, does adding GHK copper to TB500 have a greater effect than just more TB500? Would you just use TB500 for longer? Budgeting, never tried GHK copper. Well, it kind of depends on what you want, right? If you're in an anti-inflammatory protocol for lowering inflammation, then TB500 would be enough. If you want the collagen synthesis protocol post-surgery, then both together would be better. Yeah, and then more is probably better also, and more frequent injections is probably also better because they have a reasonably short half-life from the limited scientific evidence that's available. And you can prolong the half-life with Januvia, sitagliptin, which prevents the breakdown of at least TB500. I'm not sure if it's GHK copper, but it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, so TB500 and GHK copper is not that expensive, man. And plus, modern aminos and omega aminos have insane discounts right now. So get your fucking credit card ready and do a bulk order. And otherwise, Anabolic Pharmacist has a bulk warehouse where you can just buy 10 vials at a time at a significant cheaper cost than buying them one by one, you know? Like, dude, let me tell you something. Buying bulk is the lifesaver. I put in a $4,000 order from China before the tariffs hit. All right, so yeah, I'll be good for, and dude, come knocking on my door to get some peptides after the tariffs hit in Thailand. Come to the wrong address, man. I warned you guys for the shortage about steroids. Nobody listened. Nobody stocked up. I can't get Masteron. I can't get Primo. Meanwhile, my closet is full with that shit. I haven't even touched it yet. After blasting for months and blood work is almost all in range, I still want to do TRT. Is it long-term sustainable to do TRT and Primo for estrogen control, or better only TRT, assuming blood work is okay? I think it's fine, man, to run TRT and Primo. So you do 150 tests, 150 Primo, 300 milligrams steroids combined. Will your lipids be as good? No, but you can manage that with fish oil and citrus bergamot and amla extract and fasted cardio and ketogenic diet. The usual answers. Your SHBG might be a little bit lower, but then you have more free tests. Makes your dick hard, low SHBG, estradiol in range, high free test, dick rock hard, in shape, Primo for the polish. And if you take the Primo for the polish and your knob gets polished 24/7 because you look so fucking good. I mean, I think it's fine, man. When will your next cycle of cerebrolysine be? I think I'm good. I use cerebrolysine, I use cortexin, and I'm on fluvoxamine right now. That's continuous neurogenesis. Eventually, I'll get to the brain-derived neurotropic factor video. But yeah, I'm enjoying my sabbatical. Steve got glutathione from SC. SC? Oh, Soma Chems. Yeah, sorry. 200 milligrams per milliliter. Doing a push-up phase. Yeah, you said that 3 times already. You're doing a push-up phase, right? Soon your chest is going to explode from all the push-ups that you're doing. Is it better to take it pre-workout or pre-bed for recovery and liver support? I take it before bed. Yeah, I take it before bed because antioxidants used to take 4 to 5 hours away from training. And if I train it, let's say 9 to 11, and I go to bed at 4, and I inject at 3, give or take. And that's about 4 hours away. Yeah. What milliliter dosage actually helps? 600 milligrams 3 times a week. So that's 3 milliliters 3 times a week for you. But I have 600 milligrams per 4 milliliters. So I inject 4 milliliters per time. Man, mouth is really dry. Must be all that cheesecake stuck in my teeth. I had the Snickers cheesecake too. Oh man, so sweet. Come off Reta cold turkey. Yes. But in 2 weeks, you'll be ravenous. And if you go to Chase Irons' Rumble, he came off Reta, and then I think the appetite hit him as soon as it was Thanksgiving. No, not Thanksgiving. Halloween. And then he ate all the Halloween candy, like literally everything, right? 5 kids came. Yeah, 1 candy each. And then for me and Chase, it's very, very hard to control ourselves when there's garbage in the house. So I think he ate all the Halloween candy as soon as he realized that the kids were not showing up anymore. Right? I hope he sang a little bit. Oh no, that's only in Europe, right? Where you sing and then you get the candy. We have to go through the houses and then sing. But for Halloween, I don't think you have to do that. You just have to dress up. Right, so you can come off cold turkey, but the appetite will come back with a vengeance. I would rather phase off of it so you have some time to get used to this ever-increasing appetite and hold the dose where you feel the appetite is too much. Daddy Steve, much love from Iowa. No question, but thanks for everything you do for the performance enhancing community, and have some cheesecake. Yes, sir. I had my cheesecake today. I had so much cheesecake that I felt nauseous. I still feel nauseous. Shit. Good video tutorial to learn how to incorporate vacuums daily. We got mates for that, man. Make them dress up. Colombian maids. Her royal penis is clean. Oh, you want to know about how to clean the house? Well, we got Colombian maids for that. Dress them up nice. Oh, you want to know about vacuums for your stomach? There's probably some bodybuilder who's got maybe John Jewett's got something on his channel because he was really practicing the vacuums, and I remember that he did quite a lot of that on Instagram. And dude, even if you watch older videos of Rich Piana, where he's doing vacuums in the morning. So basically, long story short, you want to take a good dump, right? You have your coffee, you take a good dump, maybe sniff a coke, then you dump even harder. Bump a meth, and you fucking evacuate, you know. Take some Dulcolax the night before. And then once you're done dumping, then your stomach is empty and you can vacuum as hard as you want. That's what she said. Steve, that sounds like a food sensitivity to cheesecake. Hey, man, don't break my fucking heart, bro. No, my stomach is not bloated. I was super full, but I'm not bloated. Like, when I had the food allergies end of last year, I would eat eggs, and my stomach would be distended further than my nose. And my nose is... I mean, look at this. I mean, that's a cocaine-sniffing nose right there. All right, that's... Look, I can see my piano lessons. See? And then my stomach was sticking out further than my nose. So, but no, I felt full and nauseous. And even if I had a food sensitivity or allergy for cheesecake, I would still fucking eat it. Because cheesecake is life, and it doesn't matter if it makes me nauseous or bloated or shit blood. Never gonna give it up, dude. Steve, hope you're well. I'm thinking about adding mint 50 milligrams per week for the last 8 weeks of an 800 milligrams test, 400 EQ cycle. Bad idea. Or, yeah, sounds low, man. Bump it up to 150. Don't be lame. They're already on 1200 milligrams. What's extra 50 milligrams going to do? 150, bro. 150. Yeah, 150. Cheesecake pumps. Cycle is coming to a close, though. Got 3 weeks left. Running 400 milligrams SLU daily for 2.5 months. And yeah, okay. Should be burning up, right? Worth continuing. I think it's pretty long, man. I ran it for 8 to 9 weeks, and I think that's pretty much the maximum. So I would take some time off. All right, take some time off. There's no long-term data on this shit. So you don't want to burn out your mitochondria if that's even a thing. I came off and I still get the effects. I'm still energetic. Mitochondria must be upregulated. You know? So I would prefer you to cycle that. We called the bottom on last week's stream how now SL should be moving to break even. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm up about 8%. So I'm about 4% from my peak back, basically peak P&L, not peak P&L, but just my total. So I was down about 10%. Now I'm about up 8%, but I lost a lot in the trading. Guys don't want to know, man. Trading fees. Fuck, dude, you get liquidated. You look at it, and you do the calculation, like, I almost had a heart attack, dude. Oh, it hurts. Steve, use BNB. I use BNB to reduce the trading fees, man. But I'm not only on Binance, you know. I'm on multiple exchanges to catch the liquidation wicks. It's fun. Billy Target, what's the best dose for injectable Semax and Slank? 500 micrograms per serving. Yeah, I prefer Semax in the morning and Slank in the afternoon. Again, I have videos on this. But some people prefer Slank in the morning and Semax in the afternoon. So experiment. Do sub-Q shots, 500 micrograms each, unless you go with the amidate or the, I don't know, there's several versions, right? I just use the regular version of Semax and Slank, not the specialized version that they have over at Science Bio, for example. They have all kinds of longer lasting, and then you need to reduce the dose because the bioavailability and the breakdown of these compounds is a little bit less, so the potency is higher. So you need less to inject, right, to get the same effect. And sometimes these effects are a little bit longer lasting, but I never really looked into it. Like if I go through my affiliate dashboard, Semax and Slank sales are kind of low, you know? Thoughts on Epilerol to kill aldosterone, therefore reducing bloating, also dose. I never heard of that compound, but of course you don't want to crush your aldosterone to zero, because look into Turinabol, like chlorhydromethyltestosterone. That would be the one who rolls off the tongue, right? CDMT, Toblerone. Oh no, not Toblerone. Turinabol, chlorhydromethyltestosterone, right? But Eplerenone, yeah, that's difficult to pronounce. Anyway, let me work on my peach game, and then I might be able to roll that one off the tongue without cramping right here. If you know, you know. Still keep going. So if you take Turinabol, that's an aldosterone synthase inhibitor, lowering your aldosterone levels, causing you to cramp. And if you take Eplerenone, whatever it's called, to kill aldosterone, then you're just going to cramp. If you want to reduce bloating, eat better, take the bloating compounds out, and maybe take a sodium glucose type 2 inhibitor, like empagliflozin, which doesn't modulate aldosterone levels, but does promote sodium excretion. I mean, I'm running 25 milligrams empagliflozin with my Test and Deca and Trestolone and Trenbolone and YK11 stack. And even though my face is a little bit bloated, especially at the end of the day, and it's the time I do these live streams, it's 12 o'clock. I've been awake for like 12 to 13 hours now. I had a couple meals in. Today was Cheesecake and Cheesecake Factory, super greasy superfood. So I'm going to be a little bit puffy, you know. I have a little bit of GH during the week, but like this is pretty fucking lean, you know. That's pretty okay. So just... yeah, it could be better. It's okay, I'm off the market. None of you guys will ever get to fuck this. Yeah, maybe by disliking the video you get to fuck this. But that's not the fuck I'm looking for. These are not the fucks we're looking for. Man, I'm on a roll today. It must be all this, it must be all the sugars. Yeah, so I don't think it's a good idea. Look into a sodium glucose type 2 inhibitor like dapagliflozin or empagliflozin, and give that a try before you throw in the Turinabol or this Eplerenone. Yeah, Eplerenone. Is it the same as spironolactone? You know? Free T4 is low in range, T4 below range, free T3 low range, T4 on range but low sites, FSH in range. You mean TSH? You mean TSH, right? Thyroid stimulating hormone, not follicle stimulating hormone. Benjamin. You've been going too fast around the corners. Using 3.6, I use a growth hormone. Shall I add in T4, T3? I would add in the T4, 100 micrograms before bed. You're welcome. And then report back to us in 2 weeks. See how it affected your blood work parameters. So make sure you check your TSH, not the FSH. Oral YK11 any good? Dude, are you fucking new here? Are you fucking new here? I made a deep dive on oral YK11 and injectable YK11 and sublingual YK11. I'm on injectable YK11 right now. I'm going to run out soon. I got 2 vials when I should have gotten 3. I thought it were 20 milliliters, but they're 10. It's like, 2 vials is enough. So, you know, for 6 weeks at the end of my cycle before Christmas. And then I got 2 vials of 10 milliliters. So I got actually 1 vial. I was like, fuck. Shit. Okay. Oral YK11 is good, but injectable is better. Modern Aminos has some, allegedly, and it's pain-free. It goes through an insulin needle. 3 days later, you're like, shit's too light. Why am I so pumped? Fuck, I do 2 sets leg extensions just to warm up, and my fucking quads, my jeans are ripping. I have no space for my nuts anymore. And you gotta fucking lift your nuts every time you do leg extensions, otherwise they get stuck in between, and that's the last thing you want. I'm having a lumbar microdiscectomy. All right. I'm not a doctor. I have no idea what that surgery is. And I want to recover faster, so I'm thinking about taking growth hormone. GPT, general practitioner, told me to add CJC Apirin for GH pulses for better collagen alignment, but I trust you more. Doses. Well, he can't sell you the growth hormone. That's why he's recommending the growth hormone secretagogue. Dosages would be 2 IUs in the morning, 2 IUs in the evening. That should be enough. And then add in GHK copper, collagen peptides, vitamin C, hyaluronic acid. Grilamide has collagen peptides, vitamin C, and hyaluronic acid all combined into their Grilamode's collagen protein, several different flavors. I take 2 scoops every single day. Look at my skin, bro. Look at my skin. All the scars that I have, besides the internal scars, right, those can be healed, those can be fixed. They need time, right? In the words of the great James T. Kirk, I need my scars, or I need my pain. And what does God need with a starship? Where were we? Oh yeah, the outside scars, right, from all the surgery, that when I did a collagen protein peptides protocol, yeah, healed super, super fast. Growth hormone twice a day, bro. And CJC ipamorelin is cute if you're a teenager with plenty of growth hormone secretion. I've tried injectable L-carnitine from aminoasylum, modern aminos, omega aminos, at least one other supplier. They all gave me massive post-injection pain. I guess I've got to give it up. Yeah, or you got to man up. Put out or get out, Connor. No, but it causes some injection pain, man. I've tried AA and MA, not always, not chases. And yeah, they burn a little bit. I mean, I have access to pharmaceutical ratio farm L-carnitine at 1,000 milligrams for 1 milliliter. So that's what I run, but that burns a little bit too. You know, it's not as bad as GHK copper. Inject some GHK copper and then L-carnitine will seem like nothing. You know, inject some vitamin C and glutathione, and then the L-carnitine will seem like fucking Disneyland. You know, you gotta raise the bar, and then the L-carnitine is like, doesn't even come close to GHK copper, bro. Easy. How can I manage estriol side effects pre-existing gyno with 300 to 500 tests on first cycle with the AI or Primo? You can't, unless you're 6% body fat. And nobody does a first cycle with 300 to 500 tests. You start with 150 to 100, see how you respond, check your estriol levels 4 weeks into that, and then see if you want to increase the dose. But you will get the exact same results of 200 tests versus 500 tests because you're new. You know? I don't know who told you to go on 500 tests. Steroid.com is a thing of the past. So yeah, Deanna will kickstart 500 tests, bro. 10 weeks on cycle, 10 weeks off cycle. Like the retarded shit like that. Nobody made progress. Everybody got gyno and moon phase of water retention and looked like, a fucking apple pie, basically. Or cherry pie, right? Cherry crumble pie, where you have all these crumbles and then the red shit underneath. That's the acne. Disgusting. I had one pimple here. It's a big one. So imagine this, but all over your face. Nobody wants to sit on that face. I'll tell you that. So 200 tests, low body fat levels, and if you have high body fat levels, then you're going to have to get your body fat levels down without an aromatase inhibitor or Primo or EQ or Masteron or dinomethane or calcium diglucarate or zinc or metformin or Cialis or what else? I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, there's all these phytoestrogens that might act as aromatase inhibitors also. I have videos on this shit. Just type in aromatase inhibitor on the channel. You'll get it. How does GHK copper side enhancement work? I have a little bit of a rounder shoulder and would need some exercise around the upper part of my rear mid-delt to have a more squared look. So you inject 5 milligrams bilaterally post-workout and the day post-workout, so that's about 24 hours after. And then you get site-enhancing collagen synthesis, assuming that you combine that with collagen synthesizing compounds like NFR, growth hormone, testosterone, etc. All right? So you get localized collagen synthesis if you pin it here, a little bit of scar tissue, so you would need to do some deep tissue massage therapy, Grassland technique to kind of break it apart, because otherwise you get these lumpy adhesions from all the collagen synthesis, and then you kind of need to tear that apart to make it pliable again. So I did it in my tricep. That's always what I show. And now it's, fuck, look at this farmer stand, bro. told me you ride motorcycle without telling me you ride motorcycle. So I didn't have this this peak, and now it's, I mean, the separate, and it's so difficult doing this in mirror mode. So the separation is a little bit lost. On this side it's okay, but yeah, I didn't have this peak, so I just fucking kept pinning all of this area for like 2 or 3 months straight. And if you train chest twice a week and shoulders twice a week and triceps twice a week, you do it post-workout 5 milligrams, 5 milligrams. The next day, 5 milligrams, 5 milligrams. You take a day off, then you train again. Add your push day, 5 milligrams, 5 milligrams. So that's 10, 20, 30, 40 milligrams, basically a whole vial every single week. And the day after your second round of injections, you would do some deep tissue massage therapy. So you get some guy to put his elbows in your triceps and some massage tools. So it looks all fucked up, but it was worth it. I did it in my teardrop in my quads as well, and that didn't really make a difference. My shoulders, well, I don't need it. I mean, God, this red filter makes me look like I have a fuckload of acne. But I should set the color different. It doesn't look like that in real life. I promise you that. Here were we, right? Yeah, so keep pinning. But if it's in the mid-rear delt, you might need somebody else to inject it for you. Steve, using SS-31 for mitochondrial support, better run low dose long-term or short higher dosages blast? What dose would you use in my place? I would do 1 milligram per day. Seems to work well for me. 1 milligram per day. I don't think you need 5 milligrams, especially if you combine it with other mitochondrial support aids. So I take 1 milligram MOTS-c, 1 milligram SS-31, and then maybe a second dose on of 1 milligram on leg day, but otherwise I split it up, 0.5 milligram morning pre-workout. On leg days I take a little bit more because I need the incentive. And then the SLU, well, I stopped that now. But I was running like 1 milligram to 400 milligrams SLU, and then methylene blue and all that shit. So it's a low dose in a stack of other mitochondrial aids goes a very long way. Tell me you're a retard without telling me you're a retard. Yeah, let's take the morning after pill on an androgen cycle. Inhibit the progesterone receptor. Let me shove this JBL down your throat and kick you in the nuts. Thoughts on glutathione for acne? Which cheesecake is the best? Yeah, that works. Glutathione for acne helps. It's an antioxidant, so if you have some inflammatory response from the acne, then that will definitely bring it down. And then oxidative stress will bring it down, which gives you less of an inflammatory response from the acne. But hey, I inject it, and look at this fucking, well, this, dude, I had to fucking milk it like 3 times today. Fucking disgusting. And every time more shit came out. It's like a boil that keeps on giving. Fucking Christmas. I think it's drained now. It's probably an ingrown hair, you know, from shaving. And then when you go to the gym, you touch the weights, and then you touch your face, and it sits there a little bit too long, and then, you know, the germs start fucking multiplying. Cheesecake is the best. I don't know, today I had the Cheesecake Factory Snicker Brownie Caramel one. But honestly, dude, I'm so happy with a blueberry cheesecake. I had a nice thick blueberry cheesecake with real nice juicy blueberry. Right, not sour, but nice and sweet. Or strawberry cheesecake. Oh man, you can wake me up for that. Yeah, here, blueberry is king. Yeah, if you got good blueberry, like real blueberry jam, and a nice thick crust at the bottom, and then the cheesecake is like not modest, but it's like, you're like, oh man, I'm not sure if I can finish it, and then you still finish it. That looks a little bit too big for today. I still eat it reluctantly. Yeah, that's the best cheesecake, man. You have to be a little bit nauseous afterwards, otherwise it didn't get the job done. Big Steve, how many milligrams would you drop the test and raise Primo Mastrone towards the end of a cutting phase? I don't believe in dropping tests unless you're not in shape. Just keep the test in. Test gives you fullness, makes you look good. You can control your estradiol. So most people don't need to drop their test. You're not lean enough. And the only reason why you would drop test is if you're not lean enough. But if you're lean enough, you just keep the test in. Gram a test, 2 grams a test. So it's something you don't have to worry about. At the end of a cutting phase, unless you're stepping on stage, and you're not in shape, like you want to do a show 4 weeks early or something, then you drop the test and you cruise in on Primo, Masteron, and Allergic for the fullness, so you don't retain any water. But general people do that. I'm on test Decament, Trembolone, YK11, and I'm besides the face. There's a show this weekend, right? There's all these competitors coming in the gym, and they're freaking out when they see me, especially when I have a pump. Like, oh shit, bro, which class are you competing? And like they're scared or something. Like, dude, I'm just a fucking gym rat, man. I'm enjoying my fucking workout. Okay, I have a pump and veins everywhere, but I'm not competing. So don't freak out. Right? I'm not in your league. Don't worry. Master, do you trade perpetual contract financing cash and carry out large exchanges? No, I do not. I have no idea how to do that. Uncut. How to increase free testosterone with high SSBG genetics. I don't qualify for TLT. A total testosterone 673. SSBG is 55. It's not that high, man. Estradiol is low. LH, FSH is a little bit on the low side, but it could be because your testosterone is reasonably okay and it's just a moment in time. What was it? Boron, metformin, and I think zinc can. Fuck, man, it's been a while since I looked into that. I have a deep dive on this. Just type in SHBG, you'll get it. Boron, 12 milligrams per day, so the 6 milligrams morning, 6 milligrams in the evening. SHBG will come down a little bit. Insulin and growth hormone will bring it down. So good sleep. Right, and a good amount of carbohydrates, but that's going to be difficult in a cut. Like if you see people in a carnivore diet or a ketogenic diet, their SHBG is a little bit higher than normal, right? People who regularly have carbs because insulin secretion from the carbohydrates brings the SHBG down. Thyroid hormones will obviously raise SHBG. Estradiol will raise SHBG, but yours is not that high. So I think the only thing you could look into is boron, and then otherwise Provarin. Right? 6.25 milligrams once or twice per day will bring that SHBG down, but it could also suppress your testosterone level. So I would consider that a last resort. All right. You're sending the Indian currency. I don't even want to have you on this channel, bro. Fuck off. It's only Indian retards ask questions like this. I don't want your money. I don't want your questions. Fucking beat it. Really, man. I don't have time for this shit. You got enough Indians in Thailand already to piss me off. I don't want them in the live stream. SLU PP 332. So I got bamboozled by their numbers there. SLU at 100 to 400 milligrams per day. Is fat burning really that amazing as acrylic acid said? Yes. It's almost impossible to get fat eating what you want, and it's very easy to get lean. What were your effects? Body temperature went up, obviously, from that mitochondrial activity. Fat loss was very, very easy. I started getting a little bit flat and going a little bit hypo here and there in between meals. Sometimes during the workout as well, right? And you're burning through all of this calories if you don't, increase your carbohydrate intake a little bit. And because of the flatness, I decided to add in maybe 30 to 40 grams of carbs post-workout, and I kept losing fat. So I think it was a great experiment. At 400 milligrams per day. And I saw the dramatic changes from 100 milligrams onwards. So for you, it's 20 milligrams SLU and reticulocyte. GW1516 MOTS-c is amazing. Yeah, so if you really want that extreme fat burning, then maybe increase it to 100 milligrams or 400 milligrams. Anabolic Pharmacist sells 20 milligram capsules. I got the powder, so I just, eyeballed it. Just like I eyeball everything else. DC derivatives not available in China, so maybe India can be next. No. All the suppliers or all the producers that I talked to that went to India, horror stories, and that's being generous. Yeah. I heard that China might be picking up production. You know, when that is, what will be available, I don't know. So, again, guys, when me, Kurt, and Dean told you to stock up, we were serious. And it's honestly, if you don't listen to us when we advise these kinds of things, then it's on you. Yeah, but no. No, we made it very, very clear there was going to be a shortage and it's going to last a while. And you can't come back later on saying, yeah, but I didn't know. Dude, everybody knew, man. It was on every fucking YouTube channel talking about the shortage. And now it's just not available. Even testosterone enthate is not available from some sources. So whatever you can find, stock up, double check it, and otherwise run a cycle like me. Test, decament, Trenbolone, or rely on the diet. It's not the end of the world to not run Primo and Masteron. Right? If you can't get it done without Primo and Masteron, you're a shit bodybuilder. I hate to say it, but dude, I did cycles with test only, and I looked phenomenal because I did the rest also. You know, the cardio and the posing and the healthy eating. And you'd be surprised how good you can look on the fucking gram of test. And a little bit of an aromatase in it. But yeah, but I need Primo. Okay. Train harder, man. Hey, Steve, I'm on a 48-hour fast. Finish tomorrow. I like to do blood work on Wednesday. Why don't you go do blood work tomorrow? After 2 days of fasting. Do you think the 48-hour fast is smart before blood work or just wait another week before blood work? It depends on what blood work you want. Do you want your blood work right after the fast to see how the fast changed your blood work? Or do you want your blood work to be an accurate representation of the time that you're not fasting? Right? Do it after or a week after. Or both. You do it after the fast and then a week later on your regular protocol of eating and training and injecting and that kind of stuff. And then you compare. Yeah, but it's expensive. Americ Health has 25% discount for Black Friday. Fuck, man. There you go, Joshua to the rescue. I don't want my pain taken away. I need my pain. Picard knows, or Kirk knows, man. Skipping one, sorry. My dry mouth is terrible today. I did not smoke any weed. That's not me. Too old for that shit. Current protocol, 250 tests, 20 milligrams NAD+. I'm assuming that's daily. 500 milligrams L-carnitine, 2 IUs, growth hormone daily. Okay, 1 milligram Reta, MOTS-c, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Also 40 milligrams SLU, 10 milligrams methylene blue daily. Anything else to add to optimize life? But by the way you look, you should just come to Thailand and get your blowjobs in, man. I think that's all you need. I think the cycle is great. 250 test, NAD+, L-carnitine, 2 IUs, growth hormone, a little bit of MOTS-c and Reta. SLU is nice and high for fat loss, 10 milligrams methylene blue. You can add in 1 milligram SS-31, how much of a difference it will make. But I think the biggest difference in your life would be like daily blowjobs. You know, receiving, obviously. Unless you're into that kind of shit. I mean, we don't judge. It's 2025, right? Receiving, giving, you know, while doing a headstand. It's all good, man. It's all good in 69 while doing a headstand. With another dude. But in your case, SS-31 and healthy eating. This stack looks great to me, man. You'll probably, I mean, by the way you look in your avatar, I think all you need is some BJs. And you're good. That's a Dr. Steve's non-medical advice. Get yourself some fucking BJs. All right? And then I think life will be swell as well. Cheesecake for life, 600 milligrams test eat per week at daily shots along with an aromatase inhibitor. Only here, there you go. It's the guy that gets it. Cheesecakes and test only with an AI. Look at all that money, man. 55 R dollars. I don't know what that is, but it looks like a lot. Starting growth hormone next week. Never taking more than 1 IU per day. Should I stay at 3 IUs per day or more is better? Yeah, more is better. But unless you look at it from a wallet perspective, just start at 2 IUs per day, give it like 2 weeks, and then maybe go to 3, and in 2 weeks, maybe go to 4, and see where you top out. Think about taking it for 3 months, depending on the exams. Yeah, you might be sleepy though, and if you got exams in school, and I don't know. I take it twice a week now. 10 IUs post-workout, sometimes 20. This week I was kind of deloading, so I just took 10 IUs. But next week I'll go balls to the wall and do some PRs again, because it's Christmas is around the corner, and I don't got much time left on the cycle, so I'll be 20 IUs post-workout after the violence that is leg day. So yeah, take as much GH as you can tolerate from a lethargy perspective, because exams are more important, man. Just get it out of the way. G here again, yo. People ask me about my weight loss, 130 pounds lost, 15 pounds lean gained. And my wife always says that I follow everything the bald guru with the blue eyes says. And it works. Thanks, Steve, you changed my life. Well, we're not trying to be a guru here. I'm just trying to give back. But yeah, blue-eyed, bald guru, I'll take it. Just say the vigorous one, the bald vigorous one on YouTube. Thanks for the $20, man. I'm happy that it's working and that the wife approves. Right? And maybe lose a little bit more weight and then take her on a holiday. You know, the nice kind of holiday where you don't leave the room. What did you do on holiday? You show a picture of the sheets. And they're like, why is it all crusted? I missed. What the fuck, Steve? I'm just going to say that your face looks leaner to me today. No, not really, man. My face stays pretty much the same. I have my moments. Like usually on Friday, I look a little bit sunken in. But then, yeah, Saturday, I usually have my preemptive, food. And today I had Cheesecake Factory. So, I don't know, man. As long as my arms are lean, it's not bad with front lining. It's got a little indentation here. It's good. It's good. Sexy, man. Quad separation. Veins on my abs. It's good. You know, when it's good when the veins from your cock run into your belly button. And then the last little part is that they go up to your chest and then over your chest into your neck. So basically these veins run all the way down, a little bit of diffusion into your cock. That is the goal. I'm not sure I'm going to make it this time, but I'm getting pretty close. And then I'm sure when I come off the deck on GH, that my face will sunk in and I'll look somewhat fuckable again. What's up? Welcome to the Vigorous crew. Man, my mouth is fucking dry, man. And I brushed my teeth and everything before this live stream. Must be from all the cholinergics. Is there a question? Nope. All right, keep going. Amazing, bro. Long competition with the test still is on. Amazing, bro. Long competition with test still on. Awesome. Okay, yeah. Continue with the testosterone. Amazing, bro. Looking competition ready with the test still on. Okay, got it. Keep it in. I dropped a grand on Mastrom in that round table Greymar. Yeah, see, commissioned gets it. Commissioned gets it. When there's going to be a shortage, I'm not joking, It's not to drive sales. SS-31 is FDA approved now, so you see that Modern Aminos and a couple other peptide websites took it off their website. So you might want to stock up on that too. Steve, enjoyed listening and learning here every Saturday. Just finished my first cycle of 5 months. Started 250 tests, 250 Primo. Tied up over time to 400 tests, 350 Primo last month with 50 milligrams Tren A daily. All right, is there a follow-up? There's not. Sounds like a lot for a first cycle, but if you had a good experience, then I'm all for it, man. And I'm all for it. I hear next cycle thinking 500 tests, 250 AQ, 250 Primo, 150 MPP. Thoughts? Yeah, start low, build your way up. I would start with half of all of that. And just build your way up, man. You don't need over a gram to start. I always start with 300 milligrams and then 500 and 750 and then a gram and then 1500 and then maybe 2 grams. Like, how much am I on now? 600 tests, 600 not Primo, Deca. 600 tests, 600 Deca, 150 Mint, 150 Tren, and 210 YK11, 1710 milligrams. Whoop-de-fucking-do. 230 pounds, shredded glutes. A little bit of lower back fat. Not shredded glutes, but I have lines in my glutes. Let's put it that way. No, I'm not going to show you. YouTube where it didn't happen. So, yeah, I don't think on your second cycle you're 230 pounds lean. So start with 250 tests, 250 EQ, add in the Primo later on because it's expensive, assuming that it's real Primo and not more EQ. And then start with 75 MPP, man. Yeah, but it's so low. No, it's more than enough. Chill the fuck out. You want to run long cycles? Start low, build your way up. Last 30 days, the first cycle of 300 tests, Mastron, 1,000 IUs HCG, 3 IUs growth hormone, 4 to 6 weeks when done before visiting. Geez, what's the best way to get my normal TRT levels back? You go on TRT for 4 weeks, yeah. And then the Mastron and the HCG... No, I would just go straight to your TRT dose and wait 6 weeks. Yeah, 4 to 6 weeks should be enough before you visit your endocrinologist to get your levels back. And otherwise, after 4 weeks, you check your levels, do an entire blood work panel because your lipids might not still be in range. Your estradiol might still be a little bit skewed. I don't think your hematocrit is going to be elevated, and otherwise you just drink a bottle of water to bring that down. Yeah, I would do in-house testing, maybe check your lipids and your estradiol and your testosterone levels out of pocket, and then depending on your results, then you can go to the endo maybe right away or 2 weeks later at week 6. When Forever Young protocol for us jack dudes in the mid-40s. I have a Benjamin Button stack. It's on the YouTube channel, man. It's basically TRT. Because the more steroids you take, the older you look. Yeah, maybe glutathione, and GHK-Copper to make you look pretty, but you're better off asking, those aesthetics guys. I don't really know, man. I would like to be jacked, and whatever happens to the face, as long as I'm not too ugly, well, I'm not going to name drop here, but there's some ugly dudes at high testosterone out there. Fuck. I can just look at their face, like, you're going for that ashtray, shriveled up ball sack look. Masteron's the best thing ever. 2 grams. I run 2 grams of Masteron, 150 tests. Anyway, that's the opposite of what you want. So I think TRT, a little bit of growth hormone, glutathione, GHK-Copper, and a healthy eating protocol, and the occasional cigar to take the edge off. I could look better, but I smoke maybe a cigar per week because I drive my motorcycle and smoke cigars. Yes, I'm one of those. I'm blasting my JBL. This thing is so loud, dude. I have a Kuryakin sound bar. It's not as loud and as good quality audio as this. So I'm just waiting for my bracket to arrive, and then this is going on the NM4. And then I have this giant JBL in between my legs blowing fucking bass into my fucking nostrils. It's going to be all K-pop. Hell yeah. You thought I couldn't be any more obnoxious? You're wrong. Steve, thinking about jumping on a really low dose Tren, 25 milligrams per week, but I'm undecisive of using Tren Hex or Tren Ace. I would just do Tren Ace and do sub-Q or intramuscularly, depending on your protocol. So if you're doing like 250 tests, 250 Primo, and adding in a little bit of Trenbolone, then you just mix that all up in a sterile vial. That's what I do. And then you sub-Q or intramuscular that with a slim pin every single day because it's low injection volume. It's 1 cc test, 2.5 cc's Primo, 1 plus 2.5 plus quarter, 3.75 divided by 7. Is that half a cc per day, man? Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Tren Ace. You get more milligrams of actual Trenbolone also. Thanks, Steve. Going to run 2 grams SLU daily. Love ya. Okay, yeah, that's a good start. And just slowly increase depending on how you feel. Minus 3% body fat. Let's go. JBL is hard to beat for the price. Yeah, and I got a fat discount on this thing too. And these free... I love Black Friday, man. I've been waiting for like 2 weeks. And I know a lot of you guys have been waiting 2 weeks because I saw it in my affiliate dashboard that first week of November, sales were normal, and then it kind of went down, and then over the weekend it went up again. So yeah, I get it, dude. Gotta save some money, man. Let's see if we got any sales in. Nope, nobody's buying those consultations. Well, that's too bad. They'll be regular price on Tuesday. All right, we've went through all the questions. 250 people here. Are there 250 likes, guys? I did my part for 1 hour and 10 minutes straight. Now let's see if you guys did your job. 62 likes. 245 people watching. All right, well, I'll see you guys later. Have fun. Did you guys learn your fucking lesson? See how fucking pathetic this is? 50 people logged off. This is fucking insane, dude. This is actually kind of insane, right? There's 250 people here. Nobody likes. I leave for 1 minute, and 50 people log off. I'm gonna be honest. I'm fucking disappointed in you guys. Fucking insane, dude. Anyway, I guess that's what it is, man. Now you know the dynamic, right? Now we know the dynamic. I give it, and you take it. I'm waiting. Decimation. Yeah. Is he taking a piss? No, I was trying to teach you guys a lesson. Yeah, 190 people. People have turned to snowflakes, dude. It's insane. Yeah, for like it, people just log off. What the hell, bro? Thanks, Steve, for the T3, T4 answer earlier. As a follow-up, since I've already been off T4 for about a week, would you still advise adding T4 back in now? Yeah, I would just add it back in, man, because as soon as you take the T3 out, then your thyroid-stimulating hormone might not recover, and exogenous T4 is not as suppressive on your TSH levels as exogenous T3, because you're dependent on the conversion before it suppresses TSH. So, yeah, add that back in, man. Let's see. All right, let me rephrase that. Forever Young Protocol first jacked handsome dudes in mid-40s. TRT plus peptides, HGH stack maybe. Bring it, Uncle Steve. Yeah, so it's basically TRT, growth hormone, injectable glutathione, GHK copper, and just healthy eating. No smoking, no drinking. And keeping your face lean. But dude, in your 40s, you're already, like if you... The weird thing is, like when you're 20, you're insecure, right? And you want to look a certain way to be attractive towards women. And when you're 40, you're set. And you just don't give a shit. And if I was single now, I wouldn't give a shit how I looked, man. Fuck, I'll fuck somebody's a couple times a week. You know, it will be hotties. It will be the girls that left me hang high and dry when I was 25. You know, they'll be fucking the rich 40-year-olds, and that's where I am now. So I'm completely fuckable. My wife certainly proves that. So I wouldn't stress it too much, man. If you have a good physique and you're approachable, you have a little bit of money to your name, you have some game, then you don't really have to focus that much on looks. Because a woman is not going to fuck you because you have nice skin, you know? This is not going to be the deal breaker. She's going to look... Okay, if you have terrible skin, sure. Right? She's not going to sit on your face. But if you have okay skin versus, you know, absolutely phenomenal, beautiful skin, then in the back of her head, she's probably thinking, hey, this guy's got like 20 girlfriends. And you should when you have phenomenal skin. So, TRT, GH, IGF... No, not IGF. Injectable glutathione, GHK copper, and a healthy lifestyle. Yeah. Healthy lifestyle. You'll be okay. See, what do you know about growth hormone or visceral growth of the organs? Yeah, it could happen. I think with growth hormone, people use it incorrectly, and then they lose insulin sensitivity, and then visceral fat builds up around the organs because they use too much at the wrong time, ruining insulin sensitivity, and then you get some fat deposits in the abdominal, and because they use growth hormone, they don't want to fast to remove the visceral fat. But if you use growth hormone at the right time, when there's no carbohydrates in your system, and your metabolism is boosted, let's say post-workout, or before bed, metabolism is on fire. We have the night sweats after all. What is this? Is it some cocaine that came into my dandruff? What the fuck is this? Some dust. And yeah, if you use a lot of growth hormone, you get like water retention and stuff. You might get some growth of the intestines, but from my experience, if you stop the growth hormone, it's some water retention goes away. You can pull vacuums again. So, Steve, have you had your feet grow since being on growth hormone? I think I gained like half a size. Yeah, I think I went from an 11 to 11 and a half. Would I have gone from an 11 to an 11 and a half without the growth hormone? No, but I didn't go to a 13. You know? Yeah, some guys go to a 13. JBL base tube is 35% off Amazon too. Yeah, it's like fucking Black Friday, man. It's the time to spend money to save money. That's what my wife always says. Yeah, I gotta spend money to save money. If you really want to save money, you don't spend any of it. But if you get like nice discounts on everything, I bought some new underglow kits and some gifts for friends, and yeah, I spent like 7 G's or something this weekend on bullshit. But it's otherwise it would have been 10 G's. So again, spend money to save money. Hey Steve, is there any synergy with erythritide and growth hormone regarding countering the insulin resistance? Again, the insulin resistance from growth hormone is greatly exaggerated. If you live the lifestyle, it's not going to happen. Because you do daily fasted cardio, you eat healthy, you get insulin sensitizing compounds into your diet or your supplementation protocol, and the activity that you're doing, daily fasted cardio and going to the gym 5 times a week, will be more than enough to help with insulin sensitivity. So insulin resistance, even at higher doses of growth hormone, is a non-issue for people who live the lifestyle, and erythritide might be able to help with that by by making you more insulin sensitive because you eat less carbohydrates. You know? So, yes, there's synergy. Erythritide will make you flat, and growth hormone will make you full. But it has nothing to do with insulin resistance. Because you shouldn't be using these compounds if you don't live a lifestyle. Then you're just a piece. Bear with me. All right, we're back. Thai internet, bro. As stable as questioning. Steve, I wanted to say young for my 15-year-old younger lady, and for the sake of keeping my lifestyle peak as high as long as possible. No hating, but having a much younger lady in my life. Many thanks. Yeah. So in that case, you don't want to sauce too hard. You know. Then again, man, it's 15 years is not that much of a difference. Could I be with a 25, 27-year-old? She's mature. You know? I'm fucking energetic all day, so whatever I'm doing with the mitochondrial support stack is energy for days. Looking to optimize energy, longevity, health. Just curious if there's anything impactful to add and change in the current stack. Yeah, SS-31, man. But your stack already looks good. Healthy eating. Tremolona sandwich is coming for Steve. Yeah. Nobody. Sorry, guys. The Thai internet has been acting up all week, so I thought it was stable, but I guess not. We're going to do the best I can. The discount links all on my website, vigorsteve.com. You can find all the discount for supplements that you could be possibly interested in there. For my question. Okay. Can younger fellas, 20-year-old, benefit from growth hormone as older dudes? They call growth hormone the old man's drug, and younger people already have generally high IGF-1. I'm 341, for example, at 24. Yeah, so in your case, if your IGF-1 is that high, unless you want to bodybuild, then you probably need some growth hormone. I don't see a reason for you to take growth hormone. You could take a growth hormone secretagogue, like MK677 or tesamorelin and ipamorelin combination, and then maybe raise your IGF-1 to 400-500, and your growth hormone from, upon waking, maybe 5 to 10. And then grow with that, But growth hormone works better in synergy with steroids. And at 24, are you ready for that? Right? It depends on how serious you want to take that. I started steroids at 26 after 11 years of natural bodybuilding. I fucking lived this lifestyle through and through and through. I brought my meals with me. I did my cardio. I did everything, man. I did fucking everything. Made all the stupid sacrifices that I'm no longer willing to make. Because thank God for pharmacology. But I still do the work, man. And just when somebody wants to go out for dinner, I just go out for dinner, even if I'm on a diet. Fuck it. I'll diet longer. Doesn't matter. So in your case, yeah. I don't know if you want an edge. Maybe look into MK677, man. Easy to acquire. And then see how much your IGF-1 and the fasting growth hormone levels go up. And then see how much of a response you get. But you'll probably get a better response with steroids and actual growth hormone. But I don't know if you want to do hardcore bodybuilding or not, That's a question you have to ask yourself. What's the best beginner cycle in your opinion? I need compound and dosing recommendations. Test. It's that simple. Test. Start with TRT dose, build your way up. It's that simple, man. It's bioidentical. You're already used to it. And then later on, you can start adding in stuff like, an oral or Deca or Primo. But it depends on what you want. Everybody's different. If you don't know what to do, hire a coach. They'll guide you through the process. And most coaches will just increase the test and then add in growth hormone. Thai internet sometimes is, and I got a parallel internet connection. Can you believe that? I'm in GLP-1 with MK677 to suppress appetite from MK677. Oh God, yeah, go for it. Yeah, or just take a GLP-1 with growth hormone. That probably works better. Yeah, but I want to patch one hole with another one. Upping SLU dose from 10 milligrams to 40 milligrams. What effect should I expect? Appreciate your Q&As, brother. Yeah, a little bit more body temperature, a little bit more fat loss. I think that's pretty much a noticeable change. More energy levels, obviously, during the workout. From 100 milligrams onwards per day, I felt like I had no rest or didn't need any rest in between sets. So I would put a plate, 20 reps, rest a little bit, 20 reps, rest a little bit, 20 reps. That will be my warm-up. Put a plate, 6 reps, put a plate, 6 reps, put a plate, 6 reps, put a plate, 6 reps. That would be my working set. And I would take maybe 20 seconds in between fucking sets, Or maybe the last 2 sets is like four reps and then 6 or 8 to failure. Something like that, Yeah. That's what high dose SLU, the ATP just keeps flowing, man. The energy just keeps coming. So you're just doing a sit, not out of breath, and then you put another plate on and just do another sit and put another plate on. Of course, I'm on an entire stack of all kinds of compounds, but that's what I noticed from increasing the dose of SLU slowly over time. From 100 milligrams onwards, you just, no rest required, even on like exercises. Put another plate, do another set. What orals do you recommend for somebody on HG monotherapy that can't tolerate TRT, looking to put on size? Brad, get out of here, man. 135 fat plus 18 muscle. Oh, mine is 135. Somebody's trying to squeeze in as many characters as possible. Tobin, I see what you're doing. Mine is 135 pounds of fat plus 18 pounds of muscle in 11 months. Now, 350 tests, 140 Tren, 140 EQ, 70 MPP, 5 IUs growth hormone per day, SLU, methylene blue, CLO, that's the KPV, GHK copper, TB500, and BBC 157 stack. SS-31, MOTS-c, Glutathione, NAD+, Reta, 50 years old, 11% body fat, coach cut down to 2,200 calories. Workouts now low energy. How can I up energy? Increase the SLU, like I just mentioned. Go to 100 milligrams or more, and you'll have unlimited energy on the stack. Yeah. And the fat loss will be like, oh, what the fuck? I thought I was stalling, but I'm not. So go to high dose SLU. Keep the rest the same. Yeah. Or maybe take a deload. Sometimes it happens, when you're after like 4 to 6 weeks of training fucking hard and a caloric deficit, you need a little bit of a deload. So this week I reluctantly did a deload, have to wait for double the reps. So instead of 100 kilos, I do 100 kilos times 6. I do 50 kilos times 12. So you move the same amount of weight in total, but you don't stimulate the central nervous system that much. And then now my energy is great again. And the cheesecake obviously is helping. Can't beat cheesecake, man. So maybe you need a cheat meal and a deload, and then bump up the SLU, and then you're fine, man. But you look good, dude. Nice and jacked. All right? Everybody loves those most musculars. Scal, I'm not sure what you're laughing about, but I'm doing my part to make you guys entertained. Planning test, Primo anniversary cycle, then back down to 150 tests afterwards. Will SHBG increase back to normal full range fairly quickly? No, because Primo and Anniversary might stay in your system for weeks, suppressing your SHBG. So it'll probably take like 4 to 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks before SHBG is back up. Need libido to be on point at that time. It mostly has to do with your calories. 150 tests, your libido can be okay if you eat enough healthy fats, you don't train too hard, you sleep well, and you have a hot wife. Right? And that's not something I can do for you. That has nothing to do with your cycle. It has to do with your selection in partners and your selection in food and your selection in sleep quality. You'll be surprised how much of that can do a good job. Like my wife is hot, I sleep well, I eat plenty of healthy fats. It doesn't matter how hard I diet, I got boners whenever I need them. But when I was off cycle, man, I still had boners on command, but I'm sorry, Alexandra Carrera, I'm sorry that we're bringing this up with your presence, but when I was off cycle, I was still eating healthy, not training too hard, sleeping well, but yeah, the libido was kind of non-existent because the dopaminergic signaling was gone because my testosterone levels were like 800 to 900, which is nothing for a physique like mine. That's like a girly amount. All right, let's get back to the serious questions because we have a female competitor in our presence and we got to be on our best behavior. SLU PP3, otherwise they're all going to leave and then we're just a bunch of dudes stroking each other off. SLU PP332, high dose is insane. I need more food to stay full and I'm still building muscle. Yeah, that's exactly what I experienced. So and sometimes you just, and with the Reta, you can't even eat into it. So I just increased my food intake, or fruit intake post-workout. But sometimes I would just go fucking hypo or flat. That's why I added in the growth hormone also when I went on high-dose SLU. Because even at 2 IUs or 2 servings of 10 IUs growth hormone per week, post-leg there, maybe 20 IUs once a week. And then sneaking in 10 IUs on the other leg day. I had 2 leg days. One is deserving of 20 IUs, the other one 10 IUs. So that's 30 IUs over the week. You don't retain too much water, but you're still kind of full. And then you get the water fullness from the growth hormone to mask the flatness from the SLU. So that could be something you can look into. Alexandra is one of the bros. She's used to it. She's worked out at gyms for 19 years. She puts in the work. She looks fucking amazing. Look at that body. Oh my God, Becky. Look at that butt. Hey man, I sent the super chat. I was told to super chat you for an answer. Thank you. Oh really? Where was it? Oh, here. Okay. My bad. Sorry, missed it. AP suggested I asked you, should somebody dose Ngenla 3 times a week or nightly? 3.3 milligrams a night or bolus doses? I would do it just nightly. That's what I did when I ran his Ngenla, the long-acting growth hormone, because if you do it 3 times a week, it's still overlapping with the previous dose. So I would just do daily. That's what I did. I did the equivalent of 10 IUs. I probably don't have this chat anymore, but I broke it down somewhere. Ngenla. Fuck, man, I don't have it anymore. Yeah, it should be in my WhatsApp. Maybe Signal. So based on the molecular weight, I think that 6.6 or 6.6 milligrams of Ngenla equaled about 10 IU's growth hormone. And that's what I did. So if you're doing 3.3 milligrams, and you got this information from AP because I discussed it with him, this protocol, but I don't have the chats anymore because I wiped my phone to give my old iPhone to my mom. She's like, I want an iPhone. So you want an iPhone 13 or 17? Yeah, I'll take the 13. So I had to move everything from my old iPhone 13 to a new Android, because Android is fucking 10 times better. You can actually connect your Android to your computer and take the photos off. You know, Apple can't do that unless you have an Apple or a MacBook, which I don't want to use. Anyway, so I think it's 6.6 milligrams equals about 10 IU's growth hormone. So 3.3 milligrams would equal about 5 IU's growth hormone. I would just shoot that before bed every single day. Or if you want 2.5 IU's growth hormone per day, then you go with 1.67. But I'm not sure if you can, twist the knobs of the pen to that much. 1.67 milligrams. I would just do daily, man. Everything is better daily. Food, sex, testosterone injections. Just do it daily. Ready to diet. I don't care what the fake doctor says. You need a bonus dose because you're fat. I'm not fat. I don't identify as a pre-diabetic obese piece of shit that couldn't control their appetite most of their lives, and now they need these kinds of medications just to be alive. I just need a little edge, man, because I'm fucking busy. I don't want to think about food. I want to think about making money and taking care of my daughter. Let's see. I'm at 3 IUs of growth hormone serum at night. Is that a good dose for women, in your opinion? Yeah, I think it's okay for your body weight, depending on based on that picture, from the pictures I've seen on social media with some of the bros. I think that's good. Yeah, that's 2 and 3 IUs. That's what my wife would run if she wasn't breastfeeding. I think that's good. Serum, of course, is the cream of the crop of all of the growth hormones out there. Allegedly, I've never used it, but I've heard only good reviews. So, 2 to 3 IUs of growth hormone before bed. And that should be enough to kind of keep you full for the amount of SLU that you're taking. 350 test, 150 Tren, 200 Primo, 100 Masteron, estradiol 45, SSBG single digit, 6 to 7% body fat, no libido. Try the high fat diet, high carbs. What would you try? 6 to 7% body fat, you might need to bring it up to 10%. All right, and Benjamin, I know that you're on a full stack. So maybe it's just time to kind of throw in the towel and take a little break from all the drugs and the low-fat diet and just let your body kind of rest. It's okay. I know my time is coming up in 3 weeks. I need to rest also, right? We all need a rest. That's what Christmas is for. Take a little break. Don't go to the gym. Don't inject. Eat some good food. Put on a little bit of body fat, right? And then after a couple of days, you're like, I want to put that body fat to work. right? And then the bunnies and the lions, they can't hold a candle to your activity level. And that jokes are aplenty today. Yeah, and then you burn that right off during your nighttime activities. But if most guys that have zero libido at the end of their cycle, just this one indication that it's time that cycle is over. You know, and if you tried the high fat diet, you probably tried it for a couple days, and maybe you need to bring your body fat levels up, man. It's okay. It's okay. Well, what's the point of being shredded if you don't want to fuck? Right? It's better to be 10% of being fucking horny than being 6% and having veins everywhere and not wanting to use your dick. You know, I'd rather take the 10%. Like I'm about 10% now, veins everywhere, you know, lines in my glutes. And okay, am I shredded? No, is my lower back full at the end of the day? And is it jiggly as I'm pounding my wife? Yeah. Who the fuck cares? Still coming. Even though the lower back fat is highly distracting. You know, try to focus on the front, middle, not on the on the side, back. Flappy lower back. Oh, yeah. Just wear a corset, you know, just to keep it all in place. Black one with a little heart at the bottom. Oh my God, dude. Thanks, Steve, for another episode today. I appreciate you powering through all the wild questions every week. Your knowledge really is a PR for the whole community. Thanks for all the time you take. Yeah, it seems that everybody's still liking these Q&As, man. I met a lot of people this week because a lot of people came into the gym, obviously, for the IFBB show that I'll be joining tomorrow, just to have a quick look. And then I might head on to the motor show and buy myself an Ducati XD Evolve V4. It's in Thailand now. $40,000. I might just fucking get one. Fuck it. Piss off the wife even more. And you have angry sex, and then it's still good. So I met a lot of people that came for the IVB show. They're like, hey, you figure Steve, you're so much bigger than on YouTube. They say that every time. Maybe just trying to be nice. And people really say that they enjoy the live streams and all the old videos. So at least while I'm taking my semi-sabbatical to be a good dad, yeah, my day is completely broken up, man. Daughter needs me. Ah! One whiff of crying, you hear. What is it, baby? You need milk. You need diaper change. You need attention. You need me to walk you around. You know, it's important. Man, the internet is disappointing. What the hell is going on? All right, 10 milligrams Anavar per day or 100 milligrams Primo per week has a worse impact on SHBG. 70 milligrams versus 70 milligrams net Primo. It's hard to tell. Just take both. When in doubt, take both. And then your SHBG will be double low. 6'7", get out of here. I might be old, but not that old. Took a break this week, deload, less cardio, less peptides, and now I'm all excited for next week. Yeah, and I bet your libido's 10 times better also, Alexandra. Put that body to work, girl. Make somebody happy. Which has less side effects for women, injectable Primo or Oxandrolone? It kind of depends on the dose, but I feel that Oxandrolone is a little bit safer. You can also discontinue it faster, so at the first sign of trouble of Oxandrolone, it's out of your system, the metabolites at least, after 3 weeks, right? It's a 3-week detection time. But injectable Primo is, 6 to 8 weeks? So even if you stop the injectable Primo, it at least takes a couple weeks to metabolize, and then it's just damaging your fucking vocal cords and your privates and your mustache. Mustache? I have to start shaving. I'm already shaving my back, and now I got to shave my face too. Fuck. This bodybuilding shit is. Thailand, can you get your head out of your fucking ass? Give me my fucking internet that I paid for. I got 2 lines. Cut the crap. Go focus on your political situation, Thailand. If you don't like it, leave. See, you guys need me. You guys need me to bring the money in because the rest is all Chinese and Indians, and they don't bring fuck all money in. So I need a guy like me to bring the money in. So give me my fucking internet, Thailand. Come on, do better. You want to be a first world country or a third world country? Anyway, oxandrolone for women. That's totally fine by me. And then if you want to run injectable Primo, contest prep only, but not off cycle or not off season. Off season, I would run growth hormone, insulin, IGF-1, and maybe low dose 25 milligrams DHEA. Honestly, femtest, right? 2 milligrams per week. Testosterone enthate goes a long way, man, for women. Yeah, my wife will be enjoying her TRT when the babies are born. Hell yeah. How was your experience with SS-31? Any difference on bloods? No, I didn't notice any difference on bloods. Neither from SLU, right? But SLU, my fasting insulin was low, and my hemoglobin A1C came down a little bit. And my LDL was pretty low. That's about it. Triglycerides were pretty low. That's pretty much it. And then they went up slightly when I took the SLU out. But with SS-31, I didn't notice any significant changes to my blood work. Not on my kidney parameters, not on my lipids, not on anything. I just got a nice energetic synergistic effect with the rest of the mitochondrial stack that I'm on. Now, I'm lucky I get the shit for free, so I can run it. But yeah, if you have to think about finance, then I would just do 1 milligram MOTS-c, 1 milligram SS-31, 1 milligram SLU, and 5 to 10 milligrams methylene blue, and maybe some NAD plus so you can afford it, and then you have a limited energy too. It might not be perfect for fat loss, but you can also let the diet do its job. You know, it's cheaper. Let's see. SS-31 and MOTS-c, do you cycle them or run them year round? By the way, I started trying 50 milligrams NAD plus intramuscularly, 1 milligram MOTS-c, 2.5 milligrams SS-31, 4 milligrams 5-amino-1MQ, sub-Q, feels like IV ephedrine. Yeah, the MOTS-c and the SS-31 is potent combined with the NAD plus. So that's why I take 20 milligrams NAD plus, 1 milligram MOTS-c, 1 milligram SS-31, and the 5-amino-1MQ, I don't see a reason to inject that. Yeah, I injected 50 milligrams for a while just to give it a try, but honestly didn't notice much of a difference. But then again, I didn't really notice much of a difference of 150 milligrams oral 5-amino-1MQ. Besides that, fat loss was just continuously, sustained after 8% body fat. But I'm not 8% body fat yet, so why would I run it? And yes, IV ephedrine, I've been there too. But only during the World Championships when I wasn't allowed to sleep, okay? Because I had to dial people in. Edwin, what is this? Oh, you got a question here. I'm 23 years old. Is there a way to possibly approach taking TRT in a safe way? I've been training 6 to 7 years. Watch all the TRT videos, buddy. Just type in TRT on my YouTube channel. 23 seems a little bit old, young to me. If you've been training 6 to 7 years, that's already 15 to 23. That's a good amount of training under your belt. And you don't need to train for TRT. If you want TRT, it's for a medical reason. I highly doubt that you have a medical reason at 23 years old, unless you've been eating like an asshole and high stress and that kind of shit. So fix your lifestyle first. Then you probably increase your testosterone levels already, improve your sleep, less alcohol, less drugs, or zero. Less stress, less drama, finish your graduation, right? That's the most stressful thing in your life, probably. And watch all the TRT videos, man. Things to consider before TRT. I have 3 of those videos. TRT is safe if you do a moderate dose where your testosterone levels are in range. But do you need that at 23 years old? Highly likely. And if you do need it from a medical perspective, there's like 1,000 things you can try before you actually hop on TRT, and you'll be happy that you did, because TRT works better if you're in a healthy state. And if you need TRT at 23, then you're probably not healthy. So you need to get healthy first. It's that simple, man. I started steroids at 26 after 11 years of natural bodybuilding. I didn't start TRT because that was not something we did. I did half the recommended dose of steroids.com and then the cycle forums Instead of 500 tests on a deanable kickstart, I did 250 tests and no deanable kickstart because all those guys got gyno, water retention, and acne. So I did 1 ampule testosterone per week, got great results. Did I need it medically? Absolutely fucking not. Did my blood work change? Absolutely. Was I already living the lifestyle? Absolutely. So you can take TRT safely for the rest of your life if you're healthy. And if you need TRT at 23, then you're probably not healthy. Or you have an issue with your testicles. Right? A structural issue, impaired blood flow, varicocele, hydrocele, or whatever. And you can diagnose that, and we discuss all of that in the TRT video. So please, 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 Edwin, give those a watch. I gotta pee really bad, guys. I'll be right back. It's a 1.5 liters in already. And we're back. Where were we? To improve VO2 Max, doing HIIT and high intensity interval training and slow, I guess, intensity interval workouts. Which compound do you recommend? I think VO2 Max is just an adaptive process based on your investment into cardio. So I don't think you could say maybe ICAR, 50 milligrams, but I never tested it. And I can't remember reading anything in the scientific evidence that VO2 max increased. Like there's a couple animal models that looked into VO2 max, but I can't remember for the life of me which compounds actually improved that. ICAR. Some of the sources carry it. I ran 50 milligrams of ICAR for a couple of weeks pre-workout. That made a bit of a difference, but not as much of a difference as SLU. Sean, what's up, bro? Vigor still. Jesus Christ. Happy holidays, bro. What's your latest suggested protocol in SLU? Oral inject dosage times per week. I would do orally. I don't see a reason you need to inject it. Orally works fine. And if you need to inject it, you need to take it with something that is a bit of a solvent, because SLU doesn't dissolve in water. And I don't know anybody that was able to dissolve it in MCT oil without, DMSO, right? DMSO, whatever it stands for. So orally works just fine. We start low, build your way up every single day. I know it's boring, but everybody responds differently, right? Some people get great results on 250 micrograms, and other people need 20 milligrams, and some people are willing to push it up to 100 to 400 milligrams. It depends on what you want, what you can tolerate, and how you respond, man. I mean, I'm on 1,710 milligrams of steroids right now, which mentally I know is not a lot, but it feels like a lot this time. Feels like really a lot. So I'm happy to come off, but in the past I ran like 3.5 grams, but that was without the mitochondrial support stack, and I felt less like of an effect that you're pumped and jacked the whole time, and so times change, and you're not only running SLU, you have to look into the total picture, and the only real way how you know you're going to respond is by starting low and build your way up. So for me, I started at 250 micrograms and then built my way up to 1 milligram and ran that for like 6 months or something. And then I built it up, or maybe a year even. And then I built it up to 2 milligrams, 5 milligrams, 10 milligrams, etc. Right? And then I ended up at 400 milligrams for 8 to 9 weeks. Did my blood work during, before, and after, and then I saw minimal changes. And then I stopped and saw that my blood work changed a little bit, in a negative sense. So SLU was improving my lipids, Well, if your triglycerides of 17 or was it 23 or something milligrams per deciliter, if you consider that good, almost no fat in my blood, so no gravy symptoms. So yeah, I don't know, man. I know it sounds boring to say it every time, but that's just the most responsible way to do it. Start low, build your way up, and see where you top out and where you feel good. And at one point, you get negative side effects. Like if I go to 1200 test, 1200 deca, 300 ment, and 300 tren, and 420 milligrams YK11, double the dose from 1700 milligrams to 3400 milligrams, I'm sure I'm going to get some side effects. But if I were to add in 700 milligrams of Primo right now, going from 1.7 to 2.4 grams of gear, I think I could tolerate that. So, yeah, it is what it is. Thoughts on DHB as a substitute for EQ in experience and observation in working with others? Is the anxiety sides people tend to experience with EQ just as pronounced? So I really haven't talked to many people who run DHB. I never recommended it. I've never used DHB. The scientific evidence shows that it's liver toxic. In the beginning that DHT came to the market, a lot of people experienced negative liver toxicity effects or terrible post-injection pain or flu-like symptoms, so I kind of wrote it off. But as of recent, it seems that it's brewed better, no longer in glycol, this regular MCT oil. People are getting great results, minimal changes to liver enzymes. So if you can get DHB from a reputable source, I think 50 to 150 milligrams is worth running as a substitute for EQ at about 300 to 600 milligrams, give or take, right? Anecdotally, let's say 50 milligrams for every 300 milligrams. 50 milligrams DHB seems to have comparable effects somehow, some way, to 300 milligrams EQ. The same as ment, right? 150 milligrams of ment feels like a gram a test. Really? So it's some of these drugs, 150 Tren feels like a gram a test also, or 700 test. It's some of these drugs are just milligram for milligram more powerful. I should look into it. I should also look into DHT annotate. But again, my cycle is coming to a close, and I'm ready to take a vacation from all these injections and being sauced to the gills. Because as you might have noticed, Uncle Steve or Daddy Steve is getting a little bit irritable. Motherfuckers. So it's time to come off. But yeah, if you want to get some good information on DHB, go to Think Big Bodybuilding Media and just type in DHB. They did a podcast recently with Scott McNally, Ken Skip Hill, and Andrew Barry about DHB, and they talk about it for about an hour. So that's well worth watching. But yeah, for me, I just don't have any experience with it. Could it substitute EQ? More tests could also substitute EQ. In the end, you just run what's available and what you tolerate. And I've done cycles of 2.5 grams a test, and I felt absolutely phenomenal, man. Thank you very much. You're the greatest. In my blood work, my B vitamin is like over the max of 4,000. I'm taking a B50 complex 2 times daily. Is something Somachem's albuterol mixed with B12. Yeah, so if you take that every single day, I had the same thing. So I took my B complex out when I was running the albuterol mix with B12, because after all, you just feel kind of weird. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it might be good to take the B50 complex out for a while and just rely on the B12, even though it will flush out the other B vitamins. That's why we have B complex formulas in these ideal dosages, so you have a little bit of a balance between the different B vitamins. Yeah, or you can take the albuterol mix out and maybe just take a little break from all the, pre-workout stuff. I've been running 150 milligrams test weekly, 125 Primo, 30 milligrams Tren, also weekly, and of our pre-workout 25 milligrams, 3 to 4 times a week. Libido is down and progress is stalled. Any help is appreciated. I'm assuming you're trying to get lean, which when you're trying to get lean, your libido is going to be down. So you can increase the, you can either come off the diet and get your libido up, or you can push the diet harder, get lean, forget about libido, and then, make the progress you can. And once you're lean, you slowly start increasing the calories. You can't have everything, man. I know you guys want everything. You think it's all related to drugs, but that's not how the body works. Yeah, I'm on this stack. My blood work is like this. My libido is down. I'm trying to get shredded. Maybe, just maybe, your libido, the most energy-demanding activity besides your workout, is being halted because you're not eating enough calories to get shredded. It's just a thought, guys. It's just a thought. Maybe you should not diet so hard. Why do you think my diet takes months? Because I like my libido to be high. Is my hormone balance perfect? No. Do I cheat on my diet? All the time. All the time. My wife knows, man. If I'm a little bit moody, I'm a little bit sluggish, candy will show up in the house. I'll eat it, and then I'll give it to her good. And she'll just smile. I sabotage your diet so I could get some fucking nookie in, bitch. Minus the bitch, obviously. She does respect me to a certain extent. A little bit of groping, a little bit of choking is involved. So, you throw in the B word here and there. Anyway, maybe that's it. Maybe you just need a little bit of food, man. Maybe you need a little rest. Maybe your estrogen is low, Maybe your SHBG is 0. Maybe your fat intake is too low. Maybe you're doing too much activity. Maybe you need a break. Maybe you need a coach. Just a thought. Have a coach where you can ask all of these questions. He asks the right questions and has overlooking your entire situation and then can maintain your libido. Like, I can maintain my libido pretty well, but at one point it just goes down. And then a couple of days I'm like, and then food shows up in the house, and I eat it because I have zero self-control, even on the Reta too tight. And then a day later, I'm fucking full with energy, and I give it to my wife hard, so she knows. That's why I'm never shredded, and I'm having sex more than enough. So you can't have everything, man. I know you guys want to have everything. You want cryptocurrency to be high, and everything to be cheap, and a great libido, and no hair loss, and no acne. But you can't have it all, man. You got to make some sacrifices. How does transdermal test base and DMSO compare in effectiveness to intramuscular tests with an ester? I don't even want to think about it. You came to the wrong address. Thanks for the $5. If test 250 milligrams weekly is DHT, if on test 250 milligrams weekly is DHT necessary or needed in a bodybuilding context, you get some conversion from the testosterone into dihydrotestosterone. I mean, dihydrotestosterone has been poorly investigated when it comes to anabolism. Some people say it's not anabolic. Some people say that it's very anabolic when they inject DHT enanthate, for example. And if you read those trip reports, those cycle logs, then they say it's the best thing ever. Maybe it's fucking Primo or Masterone. You never really know. You get a conversion of test into DHT. And if you take a fat-phospho reductase inhibitor, like finasteride, dutasteride, sulpalmetto, pygium, or reishi mushroom extract, will you get diminishing returns? Probably not. Because you're already on 250 tests. And how much the conversion into DHT contributes in this aspect, not really sure, man. But besides hair loss, I don't think DHT hurts. I just let it convert. But I don't care about hair. I need to get gyno surgery. I've been holding off for years. I have a minor loose skin towards my lower abdomen. If I were to pick one surgery through first because of limited funds, which one would you pick? Save the money and do both at the same time. It's that simple. I did all the surgeries at the same time. I was knocked out for a week or a month, 4 weeks. Couldn't walk. Couldn't fucking see anything. I did LASIK eye surgery, gyno surgery, liposuction in that area around the lower chest. And then the leg surgery to get the orthopedic plate removed, which I had since the motorcycle accident decades ago. Water's finished. We're almost at the end of the live stream. And I'm happy that I did, because I was only out of the gym for 4 weeks, and then the recovery process could start. If you have to do gyno surgery, that's 4 weeks out of the gym, and then maybe another month before you get back into the groove again. And then what? You're going to do another surgery on the lower abdomen, remove a little bit of loose skin. So now you're out of the gym, out of peak performance for 4 months instead of 2 months. Save the money, do it all at the same time. That will be my advice. Man, the internet is absolutely terrible today. 160 likes, 240 watch. Man, slim pickings. Is clenbuterol a thing of the past? No, you still got people that like it, but we have so many alternative fat burners now. We have Mirabegron that doesn't really stimulate your heart rate. We got high-dose SLU with MOTS-c and SS-31 and methylene blue to keep your energy levels going and stimulate fat loss through different pathways. So, yeah, as new science and new compounds come to the market, some are discarded, but clenbuterol is still a great fat burner if you can tolerate the side effects, man. I did some injectable clenbuterol 20 micrograms with yohimbine in the lower chest to get some localized fat loss, and in and out. Works pretty good. All right, let's see if there's anything else. Steve, what's the highest concentration of testosterone you see in a vial? I saw 600 milligrams per deciliter. Per milliliter, you mean? With 4 esters the other day and had a small heart attack thinking about the inflammation. Yeah, I would just stick to the basic concentrations, man. 250 milligrams, maybe 300 milligrams at maximum. Right, if it's a long-acting ester, like NAD, for example, or cysteine, 300 milligrams, I think that's fine. But yeah, 600 milligrams sounds like post-injection pain. How much solvent is in there? How much glycol? How much benzoate, benzoalcohol? I'm not really sure. I think boldenone you can brew up to 500 milligrams per 1 milliliter if it's an MCT oil, because boldenone allegedly is basically a semi-liquid at room temperature, so it's easy to dissolve. But I would just, fuck, I'm injecting 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 1.5. Yeah, about 1.2 cc's per day. It's all right. It's not the end of the world. You can get a lot in, man, for 1.2 cc's per day. What is a good year-round cycle for Instagram fitness model would you recommend? The mitochondrial support stack, TRT, and a little bit of Primo on top. No growth hormone, no DECA, no anything that makes you hold water. Because in Instagram fitness, you need to look lean, obviously. And you can only use the structure on the, what was it called, Lightroom that much before you get exposed. So test, Primo, mitochondrial support stack to stay lean, and I would leave it there. I would leave it there. But it's the Instagram fitness is mostly lighting, dude. I met many of these guys and they're fucking tiny in real life. So they just find a nice lighting at the right place and then they look phenomenal, but it's all false advertisement. That's why I like to hear that people say, dude, you're so fucking jacked in real life. Instead of trying to be fucking flexed the whole time. Look at these guys, look at my authority, blah, 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 blah. I'm so handsome, so sexy. It gets old, man. That's fucking old. It's fucking, I'm sure you can make money that way, but I don't know. Most of these guys, most of these Instagram models are fucking miserable, man. No libido. Right, Benjamin? 6% body fat, no libido. What's the point? What's the point, man? Never tried Winstrol or Masteron. Will add a lot of muscle. Well, if you live the lifestyle, it will add more muscle than not adding it in. But what about the dose? What about the training? What about the synergy with other compounds? What about growth hormone? What about insulin, right? Bob's. Old teeth. Come on, man. Ask a little bit smarter. Does Increlex cause water retention? Not in my experience. So that's why I like to run that at 1 milligram bilaterally. 500 micrograms per side, but I have 1 vial left, so I might bump it up to 2 milligrams, and then I'm done with the Increlex, and it's out of stock. I'm not going to spend more money on drugs. I either get the drugs for free or I don't run it. That's my new motto. I got to spend all this money for schools and motorbikes, man. It's more important. Injectable anadrol, your thoughts? I think it's great. I think injectable anadrol is like the best thing known to man. Pre-workout, 30 minutes before, 25 to 50 milligrams bilaterally into the main muscle group that you're going to train. So if it's your chest day, push day, 50, 25 milligrams left, right. Fuck, man. Pumps galore. What's the half-life? I have no idea. I can't remember. I think the oral half-life is, 14 hours? 14 to 18? It's in Wikipedia somewhere. But through injectable anadrol, I'm not really sure. 25 milligrams daily enough, combined with 250 milligrams testosterone cypionate. 125 milligrams Deca. It's better than 0 milligrams, but I think you'll get a better response if you run 50 milligrams pre-workout 5 times a week. So, yeah, check your estrogen levels. You might get some gyno. All right, guys, it's been 2 hours. I think it's pretty much done for today. Don't forget that we have the Black Friday sale for consultations and personalized advice by email. It's 50% discount. And a better deal on my services you're not going to find for a very, very, very long time. So please, if you're interested, please read everything that I explain on the consultations and email page before you make a purchase. But if you do make a purchase of 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 hour, whatever, then you can collect that time between December and February. So you have 3 months to use the service. And then otherwise I'll deposit it back to you because you didn't need it. And then you'll be stuck with the regular price. So that's on 50% discount. Gorilla Mind has discounts. Intelligent Shop has discounts. Merrick Health has discounts. Bathmate has discounts. Modern Aminos and Omega Aminos has discounts. It's all linked down below. All right? If you can't find the website for Modern Aminos and Omega Aminos, then you might be able to find them on my website. If it's not in the YouTube description section, it's probably on my website. That's probably a good place to look. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So did I miss anything? No, that's pretty much it. All right, guys, good luck. Enjoy your weekend. Tomorrow I'll be at the bodybuilding show. If you happen to be there, come say hi. Say you, Vicar Steve. It's probably me. It's probably me. All right, guys, enjoy your weekend. Peace out. And I'll see you on the next Saturday. That will be in December 6th. And then we got 6, 13, 20, 27. Ooh, 4 episodes left this year. Well, better make it count. See you guys in the next one.